Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of the Back Room Show where we talk about nothing but basketball. It's gonna get a little bit intense, but just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Oh yeah, and I hope you brought your popcorn. That's
good, huh? All right, so what y'all think about load management?
This man. Load management. I think it sucks. I think it absolutely sucks. Listen, fans want to watch their favorite players play the game. I'm a fan. I was about to say if I'm a fan. I am a fan. I'm not a player, so I'm a fan.
You're not a fan, bro?
When I go, if I go to a Lakers game, I want to see AD. I want to see LeBron. I want to see what I paid. You know how much a Lakers ticket is? Anybody know how much for a nosebleed Lakers ticket is?
I don't even want to think about it.
Okay, so therefore, if I'm coming to pay money to watch stars play, I expect to see stars play, okay? Now, you want to do all this load management? When you're load managing for an injury, something like legit, okay, you're injured and you're healing, that's not load management. That's he's not healthy, so he's on the bench because he can't play.
It's always fake an injury.
Can't play and load management are two different things. What load are you managing? What load? You have the same load every night. What load are you managing? I'm confused.
They managing the load, bro.
Like it doesn't make sense to me. Imagine me calling out from work and saying load management. Hey boss, I'm not coming in today. Why? What's going on? Load management. I've been working, really hard lately, so I'm just gonna load manage.
And don't even clock.
My boss is when I get to work the next day, my chair is not gonna be there. I'm gonna see somebody else like, oh, who you? Hey, are you a load manager?
See somebody
like,
named Steve.
I can't take it, man. If anybody was gonna see Jordan play, and Jordan told the fan that he was load managing, I guarantee you,
they'll go crazy.
Like, I don't like it, man. I don't like it.
I'm not a big fan of load management. It just takes away from the game. More to your point, feel me? When the paying customer pay for their ticket, bro, they want to see their favorite player, whether it's Giannis, LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George. They want to see their favorite players in action, and the fact that teams is like, I get the whole load management thing, right? Like you want to save them fresh for the playoffs, right? But the thing about it is the regular season matters too. Like you can't just be like, well, we're gonna just save them for the playoffs. What about the regular season where the fans is paying their hard-earned money to come and see players play? Like, if they can't play, they can't play, right? You sit them out, you try to manage that injury. But if they have energy to play, if they're able to get on the court, like, why not play them? You feel me? Like, when Kobe was playing back in the day, there was no such thing as load management. You feel me? Nope. Kobe is playing through any injury that he has. Me personally, I felt like, Kobe should have took it a little bit easy. I felt like that would have just made him last a little bit longer in the league. But like, it's Kobe you're talking about. Like, Kobe is gonna make sure he's on the floor if he could play, and you want to see that from the rest of your players. Like, for me, like, I get the whole Kawhi thing. Okay, well, they load managed Kawhi in Toronto, and that got them a chip. Well, supposedly, because people argue that Golden State was dismantled and
that's facts.
But nevertheless, he got a chip, right? And you could thank load management for that. But like look, that's what they would argue, right? But you got to look at the dynamic of the league now. It's back to what it looked like back in the day, where you have a lot of teams that's in it. Like, you got your two favorites, but then you got your underdogs that could come in. Like, you can't sleep on some of these teams. Like, you can't sleep on a Denver. You can't sleep on a Portland, right? I swear, son, stop playing with me. But yeah, like, it's the way how it was back in the day, where many teams has multiple stars on it, where the league is balanced. So the NBA is is more exciting how it's more exciting like how it's been in in years past. So people want to see these teams on the floor. They want to see these players on the floor. You load managing them and stuff like that. It's just like people's gonna get upset, and especially the players back in the day, they're not gonna appreciate that joint because there was no such thing as load management. If you available to play, you gonna play, and it's just like I feel like where we're in that time right now where people are comparing errors. You wanna be in that state where like okay, like I'm gonna play, I'm gonna leave it out on the floor for my team because the regular season matters. You want to make sure you have a good regular season record, get that home court advantage. So I'm not a big fan of load management. Bateman, you got anything to say? This guy, son.
About load management?
Yes, son.
It's a little hot in here. I got very little to say about load management, and I'll tell you why. You guys see my face a little bit, not too much. I think it's a sham. I think the conversation about load management is a sham, and I'm going to tell you why. It's very simple. I think if you look at how the league runs the sport, right? You got players who play, who get a sum of what the owners or the team's budget is to pay those players, but they don't get paid out of that money. As a matter of fact, most of their profit comes from like arena sales, how they do in the arena. That's the bulk of the actual team's revenue. I know that because I play 2K. Thanks to him.
My GM.
Feel me? My GM does well. What I noticed, however, is that when your team doesn't do well, they don't get paid as much because people don't come to the games.
Right.
Us as very greedy fans, the greedy fans that we are, we're like, yo, we need y'all to play 82 games. As a matter of fact, we wouldn't be mad if they had to play 365 games a day. I mean, a year. Imagine a day. We wouldn't be mad if they had, you feel me? We would just love it. We would be like, yo, let's consume all the content of basketball players playing nonstop. Not taking a second to think, I wonder how Kawhi feels about playing 82 games in a season. And we're like, yo, the old guys did it. The purpose of the past is that we learned from the past, okay? Yes, older cats, they played much longer games. I mean, much longer seasons than a lot of the players do now per their contracts. If you think about the league, they also played under much different rules. They didn't have a three-point line. Like it probably took you about 82 games to average about 3,000 points per player, regardless, because it's not like you was out there getting threes, hitting 3 threes a night for a lot of the throwback players. So it's like they didn't have 3 threes a night. All their buckets were 2s, so they had to work just to meet their status quo in order, you feel me, to keep up the pace in terms of scoring and all the other things that they had to do. So I personally feel like, I feel like a lot of the tension surrounds the conversation between the players and the owners, which is, if I am a player like Westbrook who wants to play, or LeBron who wants to play 82 games in a season and go all out, I should be allowed to do that. If I'm a player who's like, my first concern is my health and the continuity of my personal brand, because players are now aware of that. They need to have that as a right. It should not be a dispute, you feel me? But I feel like the league has kind of taken that aspect almost away from the players at the beginning for so long that now that it's actually being spoken about, they're just having a lot of the natural backlash that you would have when changes come to such a big product like that the world has their hand in. But it's not to say that, if Kawhi just got two separate
Two separate what?
Two separate teams a ring.
Mm-hmm.
within the last 5 years in completely different countries. That man could take some load management if he want to take some load management.
Nah, bro. For me, it's just like, I hear what you're saying about it, but it's like, you really just have to think about the whole fan base in a whole, and you have to think about like the team aspect. For me, it's just like, when you're the best player on your team, like you got to be out there on the floor. Like I said before, like if you can't play, you know what I mean, like take a seat. If you hurt, you hurt. But it don't make any sense. Like your team record is hurting because, okay, you decide to low manage this game, and the big argument is, okay, we're gonna rest them for the playoffs, right? But for me, it's just like that's like low key, like underestimating. You know what I'm saying? Like what you can actually do in the playoffs. Like, yes, you're a favorite. You're one of the favorites to actually go to the finals, right? And that's just me talking about the Clippers, right? Like, you're one of the favorites to go to the finals, or you're one of the favorites to make it to the Western Conference Finals, or whatever the case may be. But okay, like let's say now, like you end up underachieving because, okay, like we low manage Kawhi and PG so much, so now you drop to a 4th seed. You're playing below your standard. And like I said about the fan base before, so now you might catch a 5th seed, like, you know what I mean, a Dallas, you know what I mean, like, and not saying that they're not confident enough to beat them, you know what I mean, but what if like Dallas just ends up, you know, going for the upset, you know what I mean, like what if something like that happens? Like you want to play to what you know you're going to be projected as, what your team is going to be worth. So if the Clippers projected to be the 1st or 2nd seed in the West, you feel me? Like you're hurting that projection in itself because you're low management. For me, it's like it's a lot of things that go into low management that I don't really like. My main thing though is about the fan base. I feel like, you know, I know me after a hard day of work. Like if I'm at work and I'm just like, all right, yo, I'm about to go watch this Clipper game, this LA game today, and I see LeBron and AD, and I'm just like, yeah, they about to go against Kawhi and PG, and then, you know, PG is not on the court because they load manage. It takes away from the expectation of the customer. It takes away from the expectation of the customer who's buying the ticket. So I'm not really a big fan of that. We doing this for the fans. I'm just saying, that's just me though.
You're cheating the players and you're cheating the fans. You're cheating the players, your teammates, because, all right, let's say I go with Jaw's analogy of, has anybody thought about how poor Kawhi is feeling for him to play this game? Poor Kawhi is making hundreds and millions of dollars, okay? Mm-hmm. Am I making hundreds of million dollars? No.
Are you playing basketball?
Right? And am I playing basketball? No. How does Kawhi make his money? Off of his contract and off of his endorsements, right? Now, what are his endorsements? What are his sponsors? Oh, is it not the Nikes or the Adidas or the stuff that we buy? Mm-hmm. Yes, it's stuff that's purchased.
New Balance. You buy New Balance?
I'm saying, New Balance is bought by who? The consumer, yes? Right, so therefore, my money is going towards whatever your product is. So I'm buying your apparel and I'm buying my tickets to go see you play, right? And so out of that, now imagine me as a fan who wants to see my favorite player, and I go there and I'm like, oh, why isn't he playing, Mom, Dad? Oh, he's not playing. Is he injured? I hope he's all right. I'm going to write a letter to Kawhi and say, Kawhi, feel better soon. No, you don't write that letter, son. Why? He's hurt because he's not playing. No, son, he's not playing for the likelihood of he can possibly be hurt. Huh? So let's put it in a practical context. I work, you work, we all work. If I call my boss and says, boss, I'm calling out today. And he says, okay, well, you know, calling out sick? No. Okay, calling out family emergency? No. I'm confused. What are you calling out? Oh, I'm calling out for the possibility in case I'm sick next time. Wait, huh? Say that again. I'm calling out for in case I may get sick one time. Wait, what?
Just let them know
Sir,
that
I'm calling out just in case I may be sick in the future. So I'm calling out now to prevent the likelihood of me being sick later, so that way I won't call out then. What? It makes absolutely no sense. And also, how much of your players get to load manage at one time then? Let's say we all want to load manage. Kawhi, you load managing tonight? Yeah, PG, I'm load managing. I think I'm a load manage too. All right. Yo,
Nah,
Pat Bev, what up?
just
Yo,
for the stars,
Pat
bro.
Bev. Nah. We want to talk about.
That's just for
We
the
can't leave it
stars,
just for the
man.
stars. We can't leave it just for the stars because
Just for the
apparently
stars, man.
all the players are suffering by having to endure an 82-game season where they're paying hundreds of $1 millions to throw basketball through hoops. So we can't just leave it to the stars, right? So all that nonsense. I'm not paying. You're not getting paid hundreds of $1 million to load manage. That's not what you're getting paid for. All right. Put your hoodie back up, man.
First of all,
Put your hoodie back up.
You have warranted a zip down.
You load managing in your hoodie. Go load managing your hoodie,
be
bro.
appreciative
Come on,
that
man.
you have earned yourself another zip down, okay, for this conversation.
I'm
okay?
listening.
Excuse me if you have to go to work every single day and work your butt off to get a check. But I'm very sorry. No way, shape, or form in an hour of work at your job do you put, in terms of energy and effort, in an hour of the average part of your job. Don't give me the most intense hour of your job. Give me the most average, simple hour of your job. Kawhi outworks you. And he outworks you so much that in that hour, from minute to minute, he can get a traumatic injury. That's why they pay him more than you. It's not about anything else. And so what you have to understand is
Who cares about why he's getting paid more than me?
No. But because you're talking about
load management.
you compared your jobs, right? But you forgot to compare the checks because people get paid based on the amount of value that they bring to a company.
Sure.
You don't bring nowhere near the time. Why you think they want to? Why would he even be able to bring up load management? Like you said, only stars bring up that conversation. You know why? Because he know very well that last year nobody was talking about them even going to the playoffs. Last year we was just talking about how
does that make it right?
Because it makes it right because he understands his value as a being. Forget everything else. Two, he understands that just because y'all want me to play 82 games, just because y'all want to come see me on the court, does not make me responsible for how you feel if I need to take care of my health. Just
What
like
do you mean I need to take care of my health? What are players load managing for?
It could be health, it could be leisure time, it could be whatever.
It could be leisure time.
It could be, because guess what? He is a human being, right?
Correct.
Now put it like this. I've never played an 82 game season and I don't know what it takes. But guess what all the players say?
What's that?
It's a lot. All of them say it's a lot. None of them say it's easy. So that's number one. I know it's intense. A lot of them, even especially the ones like LeBron, who feel like I should play every game. A lot of these guys get injured. They're getting injuries. And they're not getting, an ankle sprain. No, he's getting groin sprains. Cats is breaking their legs. What more do y'all want from
And then
these
what
cats?
happens when they get injured?
Guess what happens? You stop losing fan base as a team. Because what if he doesn't come back? Look how long it took Derrick Rose to come back. It's easy to pick at scenarios and say, yo, this happened. What if? No, if I feel like, I need a break. I'm a worker. And regardless if I play basketball, regardless if I'm sweeping up the floors at the NBA headquarters, it doesn't matter. I have the right to dictate my own leisure time and my own break time, regardless of how much you pay me.
Wrong.
Because guess what? Guess what? Before you paid me, I was the asset that you wanted. That's why you paid me. And because I am my own asset, I have a right to say, listen, yes, I got into this contract, but the contract is paper, and we need to discuss need to discuss something that more fits what I'm able to do as a being. Make sense?
Sure. How long does an NBA season run?
More than 82 games.
No, in the months. Count out the playoffs, right? So if the season starts in October, right, and it ends in post playoffs, what? I want to say June, right before June, right?
Just about.
All
usually.
Right? So you're not planning out your leisure time. Your leisure time is already planned out for you in the off season. That's why it's called the off season, because you're not working in the off season. Derrick Rose and other players who are getting injured, one thing that we're leaving out is a lot of players don't take care of their own bodies. Okay, that has nothing to do with load management. If you was in the gym, if you was eating the right way, if you was doing those things, you wouldn't need, a lot of players who get hurt a lot wouldn't even need, you could give them load management and they're gonna come back in the game and they still gonna get hurt. after being out 10 games doing load management.
So
Why?
does that mean that the good players should not be load managed?
But what I'm saying is you're getting paid to play 82 games. That's what you're getting paid to do.
Right,
and you know
that you should be getting paid to do 82
because
games.
yes, and you know why it's right? Because you signed a contract which made it right. When you signed your contract, when you signed your contract,
I want to follow the line of reasoning. I don't want to cut you off too much.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you because the contract is in place is why it's okay that you should do something that you feel is not okay.
Yes. Why? Because why would you sign a contract if you weren't okay with it?
Because you know, and the people who gave you the contract know that the conversation, per the contract even, is allowed for us to even have load management conversations.
No, it's not.
So
and
why did they do it?
Hold on. Why are they fined for it?
Why are they fined for it is another conversation.
It's not another conversation. It's in this conversation.
So why do you think that they're fined for it?
They're fined for load management because they're supposed to be playing those games if they're not hurt. That's why they're fined for it. Because their contract says if you're not hurt, you play.
Right.
And they take the risk of disregarding the contract to say, yo, you're our superstar. We're going to let you disobey the rules that every other player has to follow. And we're going to eat the money that comes with you breaking that term in your contract. So by your own admission, what the players should be doing and the players union, what they should be doing is saying, look, this is a long season. We need to fight to have less games.
Haven't they been doing that?
What I'm saying is the right way isn't to say, yo, I'm gonna load management because I'm the superstar. That's disfair to those who aren't superstars. That's why I say you're affecting the players and the fans, because like you said, not every player can do that. Should only a superstar be allowed to do that? No, because there are crucial role players that are just as vital to you winning a chip more than you. Look how much times Pat Bev bailed out PG and Kawhi. Can Pat Bev come talk about I need load management? No, he cannot, bro. So if you're gonna stand for something, you got to stand for it in the right way. You go in and saying I'm saying like if you're hurt, you're hurt. That's completely different. Like I said, load management is saying I know that there's a chance that if I keep playing this way, or what I mean, you're being your own doctor. Last time I checked, none of these players have a degree in medicine. You're being your own doctor, all right? If you're hurt, guess what happens after you get hurt? You determine how much time you need to come back from the injury you're hurt from. Oh, out 4 to 6 weeks. Guess what? They could be healthy in 4 weeks, but the diagnosis is 4 to 6 weeks, so they could take that extra 2 weeks even after healthy, be like, nah, I'm still feeling XYZ. That's why there's reevaluations. That's why all these things are set in place for them to take care of their bodies, right? So it has nothing to do with, I'm changing the way players played back then. That's what you're paid to do. And the reason why I compared my job to it doesn't matter how much hard I work in my job, because that's the contract I signed with my job. Right. When I took my job, I knew I was coming here to work. I cannot call up my boss and tell my boss I'm not coming in because I'm load managing. My job is just as stressful. I'm dealing with people in and out day by day. There's things that I got to go through that I don't want to have to deal with. If we look at it in a practical sense, the truth is that every single person in America who has a job has a lot of people probably need load management from their jobs. My boss is stressing me out. This is going on over here. First of all, the comment you made about the amount of energy you exert. I used to work for UPS as a package handler, and 4 hours straight, I'm bending down, kneeling down, and throwing the package in the thing. There's 20-year-olds wearing back braces, right? Because of the amount of pressure it is of throwing, unloading thing, and they're doing that for 4 hours. You're telling me that you, who is getting paid millions of dollars, you have the money and the access to the right nutrition your body needs, to the right workouts your body needs. You have personal chefs, personal trainers, all that stuff at your disposal. And you're telling me that in an 82-game season that you can exert your energy from 30 to 35 minutes in a game, because you can also you can load manage in a game. You can choose Kevin Durant, there was times where he knew when to flip on a switch. You got to know your playing style. When players get older, they know, I'm not. Why does AD not like playing the 5? Because the amount of energy it exerts from him of banging down low. What does he tell people? I'd rather play the 4. Those are ways that you can show how to take care of your body without saying I'm sitting out this game and this game. And also on top of that, these low managers be crazy. It's not like these cats are sitting out. These cats be sitting out 7 games straight. Yeah, watching the game, chilling with wifey at home. I'm like, yo, bro, like this is crazy.
Let me ask you something. You brought up your job. Let me ask you something though. In your life, how long have you prepared for your job before you got it?
Not long.
Cool. Kawhi is an NBA basketball player. Let's be very, very, very clear. It ain't no cakewalk getting to the NBA, much less getting a ring
Correct.
in the NBA.
Correct.
When you work your 4-hour break, when you work your 4-hour shift, man, woo, that was a tough shift, bro. And guess what? It's over. You got to come back and do it again, right? And it's the same thing for Kawhi, except you brought up a point, the offseason. Offseason? Offseason mean we don't see them, if you haven't noticed. Real basketball players like Kobe and Jordan say offseason is where the work happens. As a matter of fact, many greats have quoted, not just in the NBA, championships are won in the offseason. So don't come and tell me, you feel me, the 82 games, their job does not start at game 1.
How long do you believe the offseason is?
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is,
you believe when the playoffs finish, from the time the playoffs finish, they don't take no break for themselves.
I'm not saying that at all.
So
what I'm saying is the work is beyond 82 games. It's beyond the preseason, and it's beyond the playoffs. He started his career in high school, right? He plays from high school, he goes to college. That's his career path for an NBA basketball player in America. Typically, you start in high school, you grind. College, you grind. The NBA is your max now. Like, that's where players check out. They don't go anywhere else. He is in his 30s. He's lived his life dedicated to basketball. It's very different than me, signing up. Hey guys, I want to go play for the Celtics. Cool. It's 82 games. We're gonna play 100 mil. You know, I don't know that 82nd game, bro. No, it's not that. I've literally played basketball pretty much every day for my God-given life. I believe that he's done that, bro.
Okay.
There's no way he's missed more there's no way that he's missed like that many games in his life. I wanted to say a number, but I don't want to say nothing too crazy. But you feel me? Like, he's played so many games from high school to the NBA, bro. And finally, he's gotten to a place where it's fitting to say he's in retirement. He's nearing his retirement, bro. It's not that much longer he's gonna be able to play. So if he's looking down the road, bro, whatever he wants to do with his time, and this is what I'm saying, and this is why I say,
what do you consider nearing retirement? How many years?
30. I'm an entrepreneur. I believe that once you hit 30, you're nearing retirement season.
NBA player.
For a human being, this is what I'm talking about, right? And this is why I said the topic I feel is a sham, because the rift wouldn't be this way if coach or not coaches, if team owners didn't want to be there, or if somebody not necessarily as critical to the media aspect wanted to take a vacation, right? Because you would say it's not in their contract, but what I'm saying is it needs to be. Here's why: because I'm a human being, and regardless of what other people were doing, and regardless of what was happening before, if you're putting me in a predicament where, okay, I literally, in order to get into this league, it's not like I could just sign up. In order for me to get here, I literally have to pretty much dedicate my whole life. Otherwise, I have to go being undrafted, which very rarely happens. As a matter of fact, 2K makes money off of building stories around it.
Doesn't that mean taking what it takes to come into that league?
Yeah, and it also means that when we pay you to get a ring, you get us a ring. Yeah. And he's done that for almost.
What I'm saying is this. This is my last point. What I'm saying is this. Doesn't that mean that you take on, this is something you've done your whole life? You've been playing ball since you was little, since middle school, high school, college, XYZ, which means your dreams and your hopes are set upon being in the NBA. So I'm pretty sure you knew what came along with coming into the NBA.
Facts.
Yeah.
Right? So that means I know that coming into the NBA, when they rookie contract came, when they were being scouted, hey, this is what it looks like. These players who play in college, another conversation of should college players be getting paid, right? they know what they're signing up for, what this looks like.
They don't know. They get told. It's every play.
So you have a choice. So hold on. You have a choice now. So now Kawhi knows now, right?
Yeah.
He knows now, right?
And now he's adjusting.
So Kawhi knowing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But still knowing what his contract entails, right? Mm-hmm. Has a choice to say, I don't like how the rules are set up. I'm out of here.
Except Kawhi followed the rules, and he got his team a ring and another team a ring.
He did not follow the rules.
He did.
How's he following the rules if he's getting?
No. I'm saying he followed the rules up until this. We were never talking about Kawhi breaking rules up until this point. Is what I'm saying. So he followed the rules.
But we're talking about now. We're talking about now. That's why we're having this conversation about load management.
I got you. You got to hear what I'm saying. I got you. We're talking about now.
Right.
What I'm saying is he followed the path they set out. There's very little people who've gotten to this place. Make sense? So what I'm saying is they hadn't even really foreseen this as a problem when they set it up. Make sense? Like when they said, yo, 82 games, let's get it. Like they weren't thinking, oh snap, like we might have a superstar who would go from one team to the next getting dubs and then realize that, you know what, maybe I should take a break, right? Is what I'm saying. They didn't necessarily think that would happen. So when they bring this to a player at 18, 19, yo, you can come in the league, play 82 games for 100 mil. They're not thinking he's going to be the next best, right? They're thinking, yo, another kid about to come in, play the league. He's not even sure if he's going to be there's no way that they know the depth of which, because almost when you look at the interviews of even Zion, look at Zion, right? No, they don't know how hard it actually is. They look at it, they're like, oh, I play basketball all the time, right?
So you're saying that to say what?
So I'm saying that to say he does not know the depth that he was gonna get into. He thought he did, and he knew the work that he would have to do to get there. He did not know the work that he would have to do to keep up there.
Would be such a toll on his body.
Exactly, and this is why we see players like Vince. 42 is, I know 40-year-olds that could dunk and play potentially get into. We see G League players pushing their 40s, or not necessarily their 40s, but close to in their mid-30s, come out the league and are explosive, right? But when we look at Vince Carter, he's slowing down, right? Like, because when you're playing at a certain level for a certain amount of time, bro, like, you get a lot of damage, bro. Kawhi he's taken so little games in his career in the NBA, bro. If he want to take 7 games straight, finally, God forbid the guy take a break. He's gotten the league already 2 rings. 2 championships for 2 separate teams.
So did LeBron. Why do you keep mentioning that point?
Because here's the problem. Why can't I take a break? If I'm a team owner, why am I not allowed to tell my teammate, my player that he can take a break? That's number 1.
Because it's not in your contract. Next, I addressed that already.
That's fine, but a contract is a piece of paper. The NBA is a business. It's not like the contract is law. This is my point. The NBA changes rules like this. They change the rules so fast.
So if the rule changes, then your contract changes, and then you don't have to. The contract is law. That's what a contract is. You're binded to the rules and the laws of that contract.
In order to change it, it takes a lot of times. We as black people know what it takes to make change.
That's fine.
But it takes a lot sometimes, and the league has. Adam Silver has already been talking about, let's shorten the league. Cats are not really jacking it. Everybody has the same narrative.
If you feel that Kawhi has to be a rebel for change or a contract breaker or a law breaker or whatever it is in order for change to come, that's fine. That's opinion. I respect it. I'm saying I'm not going to push for and be behind someone who's taking that route to break those rules to bring change. That's what I'm getting at.
I mean, truthfully, ain't nobody sticking up for him. Are you gonna wait? So wait. Is Kawhi gonna text you when he's tired? Like, is he gonna at night when he's like, yo, oh my gosh, Lee, they're overworking me. I can't take it no more.
It doesn't have to do with anything.
But this is my point. It's about him. He has to decide. Like, he's not gonna share with the media. Yo, he doesn't need because to. We're not. No, but he does. He doesn't. But it's important to him playing. Is what I'm saying. It's not about what's in the paper all the time. It's still about the person. If the person feels it, just because other people, we love to compare Jordan to everybody in the league. Jordan, not for nothing, was a GOAT. That's why we call him the greatest of all time. That doesn't mean Kwame should be able to play 82
now,
for
whose fault
just because he thought so when he was a kid and he looked up. I want to play. I want to be an 82 game player.
But you just said it. He's never articulated the reason why he's doing all this load management, correct?
That's not what I said.
Okay, has he articulated the reason why he's doing all this load management?
I'm not sure. I don't know if he.
Okay, so my problem is, right? He's a human, he's a player, he's this. But guess what? You, by your own admission, just said you don't even know why he's doing all this load management.
But what I said,
because you never heard him say
like
it
doesn't really matter.
It does matter. Because what if the reason has nothing to do with his body? Because your reasons for standing up for load management is for the player to take care of themselves and still be in a good place to play out their career. However, we've never heard from Kawhi because Kawhi does not speak, which has always been Kawhi's biggest problem and that's why he's scrutinized by the media so much, because he doesn't talk, which is why when he was in San Antonio, everybody was like, Kawhi this, Kawhi that, because while they're everybody talking, nobody knows what the truth of the story is of what happened in San Antonio,
which tells
right?
you the type of
so with the
guy
load management thing now, as a fan, I have a right to be like, you're messed up for not playing because I don't even know the reason why you're not playing, and I know that you get paid to play, and I'm going to feel cheated in that way. Now, if I understand what you're doing and why you're doing that might change things. I may still feel cheated, I may not care, but at the end of the day, now I know nothing. And so I'm going to have a right to be like, you're violating. I'm paying money to see you. Why are you chilling?
Well, this is the thing. Most people aren't paying to see him. Are you paying right now to see him? Are you paying $1 to see him play at all? Minus cable, because cable come with everybody. So are you paying specifically to go see Kawhi? Are you?
Every one of my dollars that goes to social media, that goes to
right,
my
exactly.
phone bill.
Are you paying to go see Kawhi?
I'm not paying. No, I'm personally not, but there are fans that are.
This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are many of them, and the most with the scrutiny, the people with the scrutiny not even paying, right? What I'm saying is,
you know why? Because we don't want our players who we're playing to see for that trend to start happening to them.
I'm gonna tell you why. It's because y'all are getting emotional that you can't get home and see Kawhi on television. And what I'm saying is, regardless of what his reason for not being on television is, he got a right to say no, regardless of his contract. Make sense? It doesn't. Here's why. Because it's like, yo, if I'm a player... You cannot
say regardless of somebody's contract. That defeats the purpose of a contract.
No, because a contract is something that we set at a specific given time. Contracts can be broken. Contracts are not permanent.
But the contract is not broken. So therefore, as the contract is still in place...
So put it like this. If I go to my...
That's like going to work. That's like going to work that you signed a contract on and saying, screw the contract, I'm going on break right now. You don't tell me when I go on break. I tell you when I go on break. And I'll be like, yo, bro,
that's not...
Why is he bugging out? Like, your contract says you get 2 30-minute breaks. Now, I don't care what the contract says. I get a 45-minute and an hour, and that's that.
And then what will happen?
I'm getting fired.
Exactly.
Right? Guess what happened? And guess what happened with him?
But guess what?
They're getting fined.
But guess what? Guess what? He's getting... Say it again.
They're getting fined.
You know why he's getting fined and not kicked?
His being fined is equivalent to my being fired.
No, because how many people just got kicked out of the league this year, you know? About two. About like two, three. That's a lot.
But that had nothing to do with load management, though.
No, it didn't have nothing to do with load management, right. But it ain't nothing for them to kick cats out the league for nothing. You feel me? So it's like, yo, when I look at Kawhi, right? This guy brings an enormous amount of value to the team. Like, this is what y'all forgetting. Like, y'all are talking about him like he's your average Joe. If I guarantee you, let you go to Walmart and some of these retail companies and look at how they treat their top employees. Matter of fact, go to a real estate firm. I'm sorry, and let them show you. Go talk to their top performer in the company and look at the contract. Look what the contract say, and go talk to the top performer. They'll tell you they know how to treat me, because companies do not. You are the asset to a company. The company is not the asset for you. If you take all the players out the league right now, guess what happened? Guess what happened? Oh my Lord, the league will be evaporated. And so I get it, right? They do have an obligation to the fans, and I'm not taking away from them. They do have an obligation to the contract, and I'm not taking it away from that. And there is a way that he's supposed to handle things. Now, I don't know the route that he went. I just know that it ended up him not being there. Nor do you, right? I don't believe that you truly know the route that he might have taken or how it ended up that him not playing. But the moral of the story is he didn't play. And so it's like, okay, cool. But he obviously wanted not to play for some reason. Now, if he wanted to play for the sake of not playing, it's his right. Now, how you feel about that is your right? Like, if you feel frustrated, dang, I can't see my man Kawhi play tonight. Cool. But don't make him the bad guy, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't know the amount of work that he puts in, day out, to even ask for 7 days of a break, even if he wanted 10. When's the last time that Kawhi's missed a game minus the last 2 seasons? He doesn't miss games very often. And so if he wants to take a 7-game stretch, it's not like he's not gonna be in the playoffs. 2, you should be even more happy because not for nothing, you want to see him play the Bucks now. It's cool, but he knows that he's gonna more than likely see them cats in the playoffs. So if he want to take a break, then that's like what I'm saying is, regardless of the reason why, we as fans also have to take into heavy consideration that, fine, if he says that, yo, look, I'm taking a break because I want to take a break, fine. I don't truly believe that that's the full story. It just doesn't, it wouldn't make sense to him as a person and the character that he shows himself to be. And it wouldn't make sense to where he is in his career. Like, he's already played so much basketball. It wouldn't make sense for him to just magically want to stop just because, right? So he obviously has a reason, something, right? So whatever that thing is, we should respect it. Like, yo, you know what, bro? You've already, like, we forget the past so much. Like, what about all the years of basketball he's already given us? Should we just toss that all to the side?
What you're doing
it's
is
useless?
you're doing the concept of the good outweighs the bad. You're even saying that he has the right, but what you're failing to acknowledge is that he does not have the right if that's not a part of his contract.
What you're failing to realize is the contract does not bind his life. The contract is something that
the contract doesn't
and
bind
the company
the
agreed
contract
to.
A contract doesn't bind any of our lives. However, when you say somebody has a right to do something, and that right is not predicated upon someone being a human being and they have free will to do anything.
Yes, it
no,
is.
It's not, because there's a penalty for. Do you have a?
Just because there's a penalty for something doesn't mean you have the right. People are getting slayed for a religion and they have a right to believe it. It doesn't make that.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
It makes them have a consequence. Everything you do has a consequence, but it doesn't make the consequence because you have a consequence.
If by right you mean as a human being he has free will so he can do whatever he likes, sure.
That's what I said. I said he is a being first. He's a person first, and so as a person,
I have a right.
As an asset,
I have a right to say that you're messed up for violating your contract and not doing what your contract says.
But you also,
I have a right to go kill someone. I have a right to murder. That's why I said that. Like that's just a crazy concept to me, because in that case, anybody has a right to do the most outlandish things.
No, because a lot of the things
if
that you just mentioned, some of the things that you mentioned goes against the laws of nature now. Like, you're talking about things that go against the laws of nature. As a human being, I have the right to communicate with another human being saying I don't like something, regardless of the contract that we built. That's what we're talking about. I'm not saying I have the right to go commit genocide. I didn't say that. We're talking about contractual situations. Let's keep it there, 1. 2, I already said you're right. He is wrong for going against his contract. You're right? However, put it like this. So if it was in your contract, let's say you thought it was cool at 18, right? If it was in your contract, you can never use the bathroom. At 18, you signed it, cool. I go home bath. I hold my urine forever. Anyways, you signed it. You get in there. 8 hours in, you like, dag, like never, like I can't take a break. Like, is there? Nah, you can't take a break. You go take a leak on the wall. Like, you feel me?
You realize that 2 seconds ago you just said that goes against the laws of nature. You making a contract to tell somebody they can't use the bathroom is going against the laws of nature.
I made it that tight because it's like that's almost how the league's schedule is. Like, it's intense, bro.
Because, and you know why I say no? Because if that was the case, you would have more cats doing it, but you don't.
It's because this is more.
No, what do you mean more cats don't have the clout? LeBron has the clout to do. Is LeBron out here low managing? No, he's not. MJ, Michael Jordan, back in his time, he had the clout. Was he doing it? No.
But that's based on those players' perception on the topic. Both those players don't really think that load management should happen. So obviously they're not going to be the ones to do it. But there have been stars who have talked about that as a thing that they would potentially like.
We got to wrap it up. That's it.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be a heavy topic. My fault. I try to stop y'all, but y'all are getting crazy. Some zipped on debate and started going in.
Guys, thanks so much for watching the show. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.